Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. General Hospital 2-week spoilers September 29th to October 10th. Michael's panic escalates and Nathan's emotional son reunion shocks Port Charles. On Monday, September 29th, Tracy Quartermaine, Jane Elliott, is unhappy to find a mystery woman, Veronica Ronnie Bard, Erica Slazak, in the family crypt. Ronnie, reportedly Monica Quartermaine, Leslie Charleson's biological sister, may be trying to claim the Quartermaine estate. Ava Jerome, Maura West, offers to help Rick Lansing, Rick Hurst, possibly by drugging him, as he's uncooperative. Michael is worried about being arrested for Drew Kane, Cameron Matheson's shooting, especially since he was nearby. Jacinda Bracken, Paige Herschel, a witness, isn't sure the police believe her story. Anna Devane, Finola Hughes, discovers new evidence, suggesting Drew might claim he regained his memory and that Michael shot him. Nina plays peacemaker on GH. Meanwhile, Nina Reeves, Cynthia Watrose, and Willow Tate, Caitlin McMullen, argue at the hospital. Willow meets her uncle, Nathan, and Nina worries she might speak negatively about her. Nina also has difficult news for Lisa Labrecht, Kathleen Gotti, and Britt Westbourne, Kelly Thibault, stating they'll need each other to get through something related to Nathan. Liesl is overjoyed to be at Nathan's bedside after a presumed 7-year absence. Alexis Davis, Nancy Lee Grahn, is in danger, and Ava might intervene. Felicia Scorpio, Christina Wagner, insists James has a right to know and meet his father Nathan, despite Damian Spinelli, Bradford Anderson's potential unhappiness, especially with Maxie Jones, Kirsten Storms, in a coma. Tuesday's revelations and vows on General Hospital. On Tuesday, September 30th, Sonny Corinthos, Maurice Bernard, has a realization, and Carly Corinthos, Laura Wright, is questioned, possibly about Drew's shooting, as she had threatened him. Elizabeth Baldwin, Rebecca Herbst, confronts Britt, likely about her fake death and return to the hospital. Ava arrives just in time, possibly to help Alexis with her alibi or with Rick Lansing, Rick Hurst. Ava and Alexis later chat at Alexis' home. Tracy vows to prevent Ronnie from acquiring the Quartermaine estate, a topic heavily discussed in relation to Monica's house and her memorial. Monica's will reading and shocking news on GH. Wednesday, October 1st, brings the reading of Monica's will, causing significant repercussions. Drew is furious, likely due to his inheritance from the will. Isaiah Gannon, Sarandi Wilson, searches for Portia Robinson, Brooke Kerr, potentially to act on her romantic offer. Britt is in shock, possibly receiving a message from her mystery boss. The episode also questions if Britt knew Nathan was alive, noting the coincidence of both her and her brother returning from the dead. Jocelyn Jacks, Eden McCoy, returns to Port Charles, and viewers anticipate her and Jack Brennan, Chris McKenna, potentially sneaking around behind his back. Thursday's decisions and warnings. On Thursday, October 2nd, Gio Palmieri, Giovanni Mazza, makes a significant decision, possibly about moving back into the Q Mansion, showing signs of reconciliation with Brooke Lynn Quartermaine, Amanda Setton, and Dante Falconeri, Dominic Zamprogna. Anna and Harrison Chase, Josh Swickard, have a search warrant, likely related to the shooting and a planted gun, with Jen Sidwell, Carlo Rota, being a prime suspect. Britt is prepared for tough negotiations. Alexis issues a warning to Sonny, potentially concerning Drew, Rick, or others. Christina Corinthos Davis, Kate Monsey, and Portia receive life-changing news, possibly Trina informing her mother that Drew can no longer blackmail her, as the leverage has been removed. General Hospital spoilers. Friday's theories and revelations. Friday, October 3rd, features Curtis Ashford, Donnell Turner, discussing a theory with Portia, possibly about Drew's shooting or her new relationship with a doctor. Carly seeks out Elizabeth, perhaps to blame her for an earlier interrogation. Joss meets with her WSB boss, Brennan, hinting at a new assignment. Chase reveals information, potentially about bribery evidence found in Drew's safe. Willow is distraught in discovering Drew's implication in the judge's bribe and potentially her death would be a major blow, especially as she relied on him to regain custody of her children. Week of October 6th. Shifting alliances and reunions on GH. The week of October 6th to 10th sees Willow strategizing her next move, possibly seeking to sabotage Michael or fully supporting Drew's accusation against him to aid her custody case. Joss adjusts to life at home with a less defined WSB assignment. Drew plots revenge against the Quartermaines, Michael, and others in Port Charles. Portia moves on, ending her marriage to Curtis and pursuing a relationship with a doctor, likely Isaiah. The narrative questions Curtis's reaction if he were to pursue a relationship with Jordan Ashford, Tanisha Harper. Sonny contemplates his next move, wanting to protect Michael. Nathan finally meets his son, James, named in his honor. It's poignant that Maxie is in a coma during this reunion, with a return not expected until 2026. Felicia ensures James meets his father. Britt and Liesl have many questions, and Britt's mystery boss contacts her again. An arrest may be made in Drew's shooting, though likely not the actual perpetrator. Ronnie plans to stake her claim, possibly represented by Martin Gray. Michael E. Knight. Charles have always been filled with secrets, betrayals, and shocking resurrections. But nothing could prepare the town for the storm brewing in the wake of Nathan West's return. His reappearance had already rattled his family to the core, but now panic is escalating as the former detective faces the most emotional reunion of his life, meeting the son he never knew he had. Nathan's quiet return becomes impossible to hide. At first, Maxie Jones tried to keep Nathan's survival quiet, fearing both for his recovery and for their family's safety. After all, if Faison or his mysterious associates had kept Nathan hidden all these years, who was to say they weren't still a threat? But in Port Charles, secrets never last long. Word trickled out that Nathan West was alive, and the town erupted. Lulu was the first to rush to Maxie's side, furious she hadn't been told sooner. Nina spiraled into obsession, clinging to the idea of reconnecting with her brother. And Liesl Albrecht, never one to leave a dramatic entrance untapped, declared that the family's troubles were only beginning. But while everyone else was fighting over what Nathan's return meant for them, Nathan himself had only one question. Did Maxie ever tell their son about him? James' world is turned upside down. James, now a bright-spirited boy with Nathan's piercing blue eyes, had grown up believing Peter August was the father figure in his life. Though he never called Peter Dad, Peter had been around for years, trying, often failing, to make amends for his past and build some kind of bond with Maxie's children. But nothing could prepare James for the truth. In one of the most heart-wrenching moments to hit Port Charles in recent memory, Maxie sat James down in the living room of the old Jones apartment. Her voice trembled as she explained that the father he thought had died before he was born was, in fact, alive. James blinked, confused. You mean, my dad? My real dad? When Nathan stepped out from the shadows, James gasped. The silence was deafening, broken only by the sound of James whispering, "You look just like me." Tears welled in Nathan's eyes as he knelt down, afraid to move too quickly, afraid to shatter the fragile moment. "James, I'm your father. I've wanted to be with you every day since before you were born." The reunion was raw, emotional, and filled with years of love denied by fate. James clung to Nathan, and for the first time since his resurrection, Nathan allowed himself to truly believe he was home. Port Charles spirals into chaos. Of course, this is Port Charles, and joy never comes without chaos. Nathan's return has set off a chain reaction that threatens to engulf the town. Nina, desperate to hold on to family, begins plotting ways to force Nathan to live under her influence, reigniting her obsession with Willow in the process. Albrecht, who knows more than she's admitting, cryptically warns Nathan that his return comes at a terrible cost. Could she have been complicit in keeping him hidden all these years? Peter, shaken to his core, realizes his already fractured relationship with Maxie and James has been destroyed for good. Worse, Nathan's return means Peter's many lies are back in the spotlight. And then there's Dante, Nathan's former partner and friend, who feels torn. As happy as he is for Nathan's survival, he can't shake the uneasy suspicion that someone powerful orchestrated this, and that danger is still on the horizon. Maxie's dilemma. For Maxie, Nathan's return is everything she once prayed for. Yet, it also opens old wounds. She has built a new life in Nathan's absence, one filled with compromises, new loves, and painful losses. Now, faced with the man she once considered her soulmate, she struggles to reconcile the past with the present. In a quiet scene at the hospital chapel, Maxie broke down to Felicia. What if Nathan expects me to just pick up where we left off? What if he can't forgive me for the choices I made while he was gone? I love him, I'll always love him, but we're not the same people anymore. And James needs us to get this right. Felicia, ever the wise mother, reminded her daughter that love never disappears, it just evolves. But even she admitted Nathan's return will test every bond Maxie has built. The shadow over Nathan's resurrection. The biggest mystery remains unsolved. How did Nathan survive? Though the family clings to joy, rumors swirl that Nathan's return wasn't a miracle but part of a larger, sinister plan. Whispers of Victor Cassadine's unfinished business resurface. Others point to an international criminal syndicate tied to Faison's legacy. And then there are those who suspect someone within Port Charles itself orchestrated Nathan's rescue for their own gain. Jason, ever the protector, warned Sam and Dante that if Nathan was kept alive all these years, then someone, somewhere, intended to use him. And if that's true, Nathan's freedom may come with strings attached. The emotional fallout. As the dust settles, the emotional fallout spreads through Port Charles. James struggles to understand why his father missed so many milestones in his life, and Nathan wrestles with guilt, determined to make up for lost time. Maxie faces the impossible choice between moving forward with her life or embracing the love she thought she lost forever. Nina, increasingly unhinged, sets her sights on cementing control over her perfect family, even if it means tearing everyone else apart. Liesl drops hints that Nathan's survival came with sacrifices she's unwilling, or too afraid, to reveal. And in the middle of it all, Port Charles watches, divided between celebration and fear, as Nathan's miraculous resurrection becomes both a blessing and a curse. A town on edge. The reunion between Nathan and his son James is already being hailed as one of the most emotional moments in General Hospital history. But the joy cannot erase the storm clouds gathering. Port Charles thrives on secrets, and Nathan's survival may be the biggest secret yet. As panic escalates, alliances shift, and enemies circle closer, one thing is clear. Nathan's return has changed everything. His reunion with James may heal some wounds, but it will also rip open others. And the fallout is only just beginning.